Hi, it's Sylvester, and this is not technically another life update video, although I am going to be talking about my life and kind of updating you on my life, I guess. I mean, I don't know, maybe this is a life update video, but I'm considering it more of it's like a daily vlog, where I'm just going to be talking about how my day has been going. Because I make videos when I'm having good days, and I'll make a video when I'm having a bad day talking about how I'm having a bad day, but I would say most of my days are neither particularly good nor particularly bad. And today is one of those days. I'm having a perfectly mediocre day, and I just wanted to talk about it. Because again, this is kind of what most of my days are like. Not great, but also not terrible. So, one bad thing that happened technically yesterday, but I'm bummed out about it today, is the fact that my good camera no longer works. I have had that camera since like 2018. If you don't know, if you're new to this channel, if you haven't been around here a while, you'll know that I record using this camera a lot because I'm lazy, and it's just kind of easier to record on this camera because I can plug my microphone in and I don't have to edit the video to put the audio and the video together. It's just kind of already it's already together. Whereas when I record using my good camera, I have to edit the video because I have to I have to sync up the audio and the video, and I have to record the audio separately. So I use this camera a lot, even though I do have a better camera. But unfortunately, yesterday I went to use my better camera, my good camera, and it's no longer working. It won't charge. The battery is at 0% and it won't charge. I tried charging it by connecting it to my laptop. That wouldn't work. I tried plugging it into the wall. That wouldn't work. So for whatever reason, the camera just won't charge, and it is what it is. I suspect the camera still works. I think the battery is just dead, and I could buy a new battery, but unfortunately I live in poverty and that is not in my budget, so I am not going to be doing that, which sucks because I like that camera. It's a really good camera. It's just kind of a bummer that I don't have that camera anymore, or like I still have it, obviously, and it still works other than the battery, but like I said, I'm too poor to afford a new battery, so that camera is functionally useless to me. So that sucks, but on the bright side, I still have this camera, so I can still make videos, and I use this camera more than I use my good camera anyways, because like I said, I'm lazy and I don't like editing. Also, I have a camera on my phone. It's a pretty good quality camera. It's still not as good as my good camera, but it's still, it'll work. If I need to take pictures, it works. It's a camera. So there's that. It just kind of sucks because, it was nice to have my good camera, but again, it is what it is. So, other than that, my day's not terrible. I am experiencing some anxiety. I started a new medication a couple days ago, and so I was kind of hoping that I'd be feeling the effects of that medication a little bit by now, but I think I'm being impatient. My doctor says it could take around 2 weeks before the new medication is in full effect, so I haven't really noticed a difference in my anxiety levels. And so that kind of sucks because I was really hoping for instant gratification there. I was hoping that I would start taking the medication and immediately my anxiety would just melt away, but that has not happened, so that is unfortunate. I made a video on my main channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this video on my main channel or my second channel quite yet, but I made a video recently talking about my medication changes, and basically what's happening is I'm being taken off of the antidepressant that I'm on and being put on a new drug that is both an antidepressant and an anti-anxiety medication, and so right now I'm on both my old antidepressant and the new antidepressant. They're gonna take me off of the old antidepressant once I've had time to adjust to the new antidepressant, and so I'm on, theoretically, like in theory, I'm on twice the amount of antidepressants that I should be on. And so you'd think that I would be it would have twice the impact, that I'd be like super non-depressed because of all the antidepressants coursing through my veins. But unfortunately, that is not what has happened. Again, I've only been on this new medication for like 2 days, so I'm trying to be patient. But there's a good chance that they're going to have to change the dose, and we're going to have to try to find the right amount of this new medication for me to be on, and it's going to be a lot of trial and error, and it's going to take time, so I have to be patient. But gosh, I suck at being patient, and I get so anxious when it comes to my medications because I rely so heavily on my medications. I need them to live, to be a regular person. I need my medication, and so when that's being messed with, it just makes me very anxious. So there's that, but I've already spoken about that at length. So I'm having a mildly anxious day. Yesterday, my PTSD flared up a little bit, but thankfully today is a lot better. I'm feeling a little depressed, not super depressed, but the depression is definitely making itself known. It's definitely there. My OCD is not terrible today, but it's still there. In fact, I've been doing a pretty decent job of controlling and managing my OCD, considering how anxious I've been, because when I get really anxious, my OCD gets worse. I think it's because my OCD is a way of me trying to control the things that I can control because I'm stressed out about the things that are out of my control. And so again, when I get really anxious about stuff, my OCD tends to get really bad. But I've done a really good job of not letting it ruin my life. I've done a really good job of managing it. And so I'm quite proud of myself for that. Let's talk about some good things that have happened today, I guess, because I feel like I've just been complaining. Nothing super good has happened today, really. I mean, it's a sunny day, so that's something good. It's not rainy. The sky is blue. It's a beautiful day. I should probably be outside today because it's just a nice day. It's a little chilly outside, but not terrible, especially in the sun. It's pretty bearable in the sun. Here's some good news. Basically, every year when winter rolls around or when the weather starts getting chilly, they obviously turn the heat on in my building. But I often, pretty much every year since I moved in, there has been a problem with my heat at one point during the year. And oftentimes it's right when they first turn the heat on, my heat just doesn't turn on. That's happened multiple years since moving into this place. And so I was anxiously waiting for them to turn the heat on in the building so I could see if my heat would work. And fortunately, it is working, knock on wood, because sometimes it'll work for a little while and then it'll just stop working, and usually it's pretty cold by the time the heat stops working. So there's still a possibility that my heat will stop working at some point this winter, but so far the heat has been working perfectly fine. It's also a real pain in the butt because you're supposed to bleed the radiators when the heat turns on, to get the air out of the radiator so that it can properly heat up. And so there's this little knob on the side of the radiators that you turn, and then air comes out and then water will come out. And so I've bled 2 of the 3 radiators in my apartment, but the one in my bedroom won't bleed. It does not work. The little knob on the side of the radiator, I turn it and nothing comes out. No air, no water, nothing. Nothing comes out. And I've spoken to management about this in the past. I've asked them if they can fix it, and they said that it would essentially be a real pain in the butt to fix, and so they're not going to fix it. So that sucks. So I'm just I'm always especially anxious about the heat in the bedroom because I'm scared that it's just going to not work, and then they're going to have to bleed the radiator. And in order to do that, since they can't just use the knob on the side of the radiator, they have to take the whole radiator apart, open it up and bleed it that way, which I obviously can't do on my own. I don't know how to do that, so I have to call or put in a maintenance request and have somebody from the management company come do it. And so, I, again, have been especially anxious about the heat in the bedroom. So far, the heater in the bedroom has been working. It might be like the tiniest bit colder than my other two radiators. That might just be in my head, though, but I do feel like it is slightly less warm than the other two radiators. And so, there's that. But yeah, I'm glad that I have heat. In fact, I was so hot last night trying to go to sleep that I had to turn my fan on. So not only is the heat working, but it's actually working quite well. So there's that. Today I haven't really been doing much. It hasn't been like a super productive day, but I did get some stuff done. More good news is that I got my exercises done. I try to exercise every day, but recently I haven't been doing my exercises because I've just been like so overwhelmed and busy. And you might be wondering like why I've been busy. I mean, I'm wondering that too because I don't really do that much stuff, but I've just been busy. I haven't had time to do my exercises. So today I had time to exercise, and it always makes me feel a little bit better about myself when I exercise. I don't exercise hardcore. I just kind of do some stretches, and I do some like crunches and leg lifts and, stuff like that, just like stuff that doesn't require any equipment or anything like that, just moving my body, trying to keep my body active and in motion. And I find that is very helpful and, again, makes me feel good about myself. I also had time to read today, which is great. I like reading. The book I'm reading currently is not my favorite. It's kind of boring, if I'm being honest, but I'm like almost halfway through, and so there's this sunk cost fallacy where I'm like, I've already sunk so much time into this novel that I might as well finish it, even though it's not that good. But it's not terrible. It's not like the worst book I've ever read or anything like that. I can't remember who wrote it. It's called Triple Cross, and it's part of a series of books, and I haven't read any of the other books in the series, so maybe if I had read some of the other books in the series, this book would be more compelling. But it's okay. Overall, like it's okay. It's supposed to be like a murder mystery, but it's pretty light on the mystery and honestly kind of light on the murder as well. There's not a ton of murder in this murder mystery book. So, I mean, I think it's technically a thriller. It's supposed to be a thriller, and it's not that thrilling. So, anyways, but I do enjoy reading quite a bit. It really makes me feel good about myself when I have time to sit down and read. That is one of my favorite hobbies, is reading. And, other than that, I haven't really been up to a ton today. I got my laundry done yesterday, which is good. Is this video interesting at all? I've been talking for almost 14 minutes at this point, and I feel like I've said very little, but it is what it is. I'm having a spectacularly mediocre day, and, I'm thankful for that. It could be worse, it could be better, but it also could be much worse. And so, here's another kind of bad thing that's been happening is my knee has been hurting a little bit. It's not terrible, like it's not bad enough for me to go to the doctor about it, but my knee has just been kind of aching a little bit when I've been walking and going up and down the stairs, and basically whenever I use my knee, it has been kind of achy, and so that's not great because I have a feeling it's only ever going to get worse, probably. So I suspect I will be having knee problems in my future. But again, it is what it is. It does concern me a little bit because I do walk basically everywhere. I don't own a car. I do have a bike, as you can see behind me. I have a bike, but that also requires using your knee. And so I basically walk everywhere. And so if I develop bad knee pain, it's going to be hard for me to go places. It's going to be hard for me to go to the grocery store. It's going to be hard for me to go to to downtown when I need to go downtown. It's just going to be hard for me to get around, and then I'll have to take the bus more places, and that means spending money on bus tickets, and like it's just, you know, stressful to think about that. And also, I live on the top floor of my building, and there's no elevator in this building, and so I have to walk up and down a lot of stairs whenever I go in or out of my apartment. And so again, having knee pain is not ideal, but as I said, right now it's not terrible, so knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't get super bad anytime soon. Anyways, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.